Hi, my name is Johanna Bazlerova. And I will be talking about my Instagram profile, which name is Jsem v obraze. I'm currently 21 years old, so I guess maybe I am the youngest one here, perhaps. Yeah, I am. Okay, that's fun, but also kind of like I'm nervous. But first of all, I would like to tell you something about my Instagram profile that I started 2 years ago. So I was always like a really curious student, I would say, but no one was expecting me that from me that I would maybe start some my own project or be like different in a way from my other peers, like not because sorry, I'm nervous. But I started this project 2 years ago because I was curious about what was happening in the world. And I didn't really have anyone to talk it through. To talk about it with. And so I decided to take my problem out in the wild on the internet, and I started this Instagram profile. And basically, it's a way how to like inform other young people who are also curious like me about what is happening in the world. I would say that I'm covering bunch of topics from climate change, gender equality, and also global politics and geopolitical issues in general. I do it through carousel posts that I create with Figma. I saw outside the room that someone mentioned Canva as their favorite journalism tool, but I use that one as well, but I would say Figma is better, so there's a little tip from me. It's also a great program for creating informational like infographics. And yeah, I use the carousel post to like summarize informations about various events, various issues happening around the world, and I use really like I think catchy graphic design because that's also like a big part of it, how it looks, because young people tend to be really like interested in like well made posts and well made designs because still Instagram is this visual platform. And I created a fun little timeline of how it all started because I think that's an interesting story because I somehow managed to at the right time take on this journey at the right time. I was like at the right time in the right place. And it all started in December 2019 when I had my first podcast, and sadly for me that was around time that everybody was starting a podcast in the Czech Republic. So that didn't go that well, but also during December I was seeing no, or there was videos with videos from China with people falling to the ground because of some virus. And back then I was wondering, well, where would that, where can it take us? And well, then the COVID happened, and it started really, really being like impactful on everything I did because it was my graduation year, and I somehow managed to get through the graduation and everything, but still I wanted to do something on my own. And in September 2020, so 1 month back, I celebrated like 2 years of working on my project. And in September 2020, I started the Semfobras profile, and in the description at the News Impact Summit, it says that I gained 10,000 followers during 24 hours, which is a lot. And it's true. I somehow managed to like blew on the Instagram overnight. And during February 2021, it was the day when somehow it was really reshared a lot, and it was great to see that people are responding to the project I created, and that it's like people want to like read news on the Instagram. And so these are some of the posts that are that you can find on my Instagram profile. You can see that the first one, it says Pozitivní zprávy. It's like positive news. I like to break the cycle of news because news are really negative sometimes. So sometimes I like gather 5 or even more fun little informations like what positive happened around the world. Or for example, in June, I visited Kenya with one NGO that fights climate change, and I reported on how clothes from Europe end up in landfills in Nairobi. And sometimes I do just the carousel post with information, sometimes, for example, about Boris Johnson, and on the other times I just share fun photo dumps of empowering women. And one thing that I want to mention is also mental health, because as I said earlier, news are sometimes negative, like most of the times. And it takes a great toll, I think, on young people, and me included. So mental health is also a big topic for me and for my profile to like include in my topics, because, well, I guess it's important to me personally that people are more and more speaking about this problem, because it really, these 2 years, it has been a great negative impact on young people and everyone, I guess. And lastly, I would like to open my point of view on this issue, like on this topic, because the habits and attitudes of younger audiences are still changing, and I guess get asked a lot if like news media have to change. And I would say that from my point of view, the experience of news should feel as easy and accessible as, for example, Instagram or TikTok. And this is partly about how the content is presented, but also how it's like surfaced. And I would say that news brands need to tell stories in ways that fit expectations of young people. So maybe it's possible, like implementing new strategies and new platforms into the media houses and other, for example, into media websites in general. And so lastly, like the final question, if media have to change, from my point of view, it's the answer is not in general, but it's great to implement changes and to for example, learn from younger audiences, because the attitudes, as I said, and habits are changing a lot. And I guess that is all. And if someone wants to ask me any questions during the networking, I will be real happy to answer them.